Good evening. I'm here to inform you on the process of getting to be an astronaut, what life is like in deep space, what life is like in space, and the problems to be getting out into deep space, and the time frame of getting to our neighbor planet. Now, I want you guys to think today, space, the final frontier. Have you ever thought as we as a species should live on one place? Well, as Gonzalez Maneuver emphasizes in an article published in 2019, he emphasized staying on the planet could risk the human race as a whole, as Earth could be hit by one giant asteroid. Now, I will now discuss to you the processes of what it is to become an astronaut and what they need and the tools they will need to get into outer space. Now, for an astronaut, when they start their training, they have to learn public speaking, they have to learn medical procedures, they have to learn how to speak Russian, and they also have to learn survival training. They also have to do activities such as mock-ups, they have to learn go to the natural buoyancy lab, and they also have to go to the Vomit Comet. All this was published by Shelley Canright in 2009. Now, for the astronauts to get even into space, they have to build the ship to get there. What they do is the rocket design team, as emphasized by the Height published in 2015, in an article, he states the first thing the designers of the team think of is what the mission is going to be for the rocket. Then they call in a bunch of other designers of rockets to brainstorm ideas of what would be good for that mission. And then they go down to a drawing board, and then they whittle down to the perfect rocket that they would need. Now that I've talked to you about the starting processes of it, I will now discuss to you what life is like in space and the problems we're having to be getting into deep space. Now, I want you to think for a second. We're always taking the simple things on Earth for granted. But when you live in outer space, as stated by Chow Denzin in an article in 2010, the simplest tasks on the space station or on Earth change on the space station, as sleeping is no longer just laying on your bed. You have to strap yourself down and lay in a bag. They also have to, when they go to the bathroom, they have to strap themselves down to the toilet and have a decent aim or have a messy result. As well as the crew have to stay in shape, as being in space loses muscle and bone loss while they're up there. So they have to have at least 2 hours of exercise, such as squats, cardio, and stretches. Now that I've told you this, I will be discussing to you the problems of deep space travel. As Carl Tate addresses in their article published in 2013, the nearest star from us is 266,000 light years away. Now, that's really far, and I want to get you a little background on light years. It takes light 8 minutes to get from us to the planet. That's 1 light year. To get to the nearest star, neighboring star, it would take 30,000 years just for light. We can't even travel that fast. As well as fuel is an issue. We don't have anything strong enough to get us into deep space that will last us long enough. And also, my last issue I will discuss with you guys today is there is dust and other particles in deep space that would damage our ships even if we could go the speed that we would need to make it to the next planet, to the next star. Now that I've discussed to you the issues of deep space travel and what life is like, a little taste of what life is like in space, I will finally explain what our current time frame would be to travel to our neighbor planet. Now, everyone knows everyone wants to go to outer space. I know I do. Just to go to see what's out there. You know, it's always been told our frontier. As an article stated by Mike Brown, published in 2019, Elon Musk has a grand plan of getting everyday people out into Mars by the year 2050. By the end of this year, he plans to test his boosters, high velocity test, and high altitude test on his rockets. Several of these tests will be made before manned missions to make sure it's completely safe, as well as he may have a debut of his orbital starship. By the year 2022, Elon Musk wants to send 2 cargo ships into outer space towards the red planet, as this is the perfect time as our 2 planets are in line with each other. This happens like roughly every 2 years, that's why it's on 2022. Now, in 2024, if that last mission was a success, he wants to send 2 manned missions and then 2 more cargo missions at the same time to go to outer space to begin Mars colonization. By the end of this next decade, he wants there to be some sort of settlement on Mars, one way or another. And this will also be a good way to start traveling to other planets, as we'll use the first planet and the next planet as our gas stations to get us to our next location. Also, all this was discussed by Mike Brown in an article published in 2019. I have now discussed with you today the process of getting ready to fly into space, the problems of deep space travel, and what life is like in space, and our time frame to getting into space. Why was all this important to you guys? It's our human race as a species. We could survive. It's our survivability. Anything could wipe us out in a matter of minutes. But if we're not in one place, we're fine. Now, my last words for you guys: space, final frontier. Or is it?